Hey everyone, let's learn how to make a DIY trellis today. I am Lisa the Gardener. Welcome to my channel. So in today's episode, what I want to do is make a DIY trellis. I have an idea of using this piece that I have already on the fence, and I have a Kintzley ghost honeysuckle and a chocolate vine that I'm thinking of growing up like an arch here. So my thought is planting the Kintzley ghost honeysuckle on this side, the chocolate vine on this side, and let it kind of grow up around this fence, and then maybe arch around this way is what I'm thinking. Now for that to happen, I need to provide some support for the vines in the beginning. So I'm thinking of using paddle wires and maybe creating a little bit of a support right there, so that way it can make itself onto the to this display here. So this actually is the top of a baker's rack that we had in our dining room, and we didn't need it anymore, so we just took it apart, and my husband had the idea of mounting the top part of it to the fence, which actually I think it looks really nice. My thought is as well is this area here on these shelves, I have these containers and it's not hooked up to drip. So maybe what I'm thinking about is I have some sedum, and sedum don't need a lot of water. So maybe I could put some sedum in these containers, and there's some of them that trail down as well. So maybe that could go on the shelves over here. So that's my thought process for this. So things that are low maintenance, that doesn't need a lot of water, going here because it's not on drip. So I would like if you can please comment, like, subscribe as well to the channel, and let's get started on this process. So here's my Kintzley ghost honeysuckle, and stats on this is, let's see, 6+ hours or 4 to 6 hours of sun, blooms in summer. How tall does it get? 6 to 12 feet tall. Oh wow, this could be pretty tall. So in 4 to 8. So I think we're in good standing with this one here. Now I like this because in the beginning the leaves look pretty normal, but eventually when they bloom, or when the leaves get older, they become like a round, and then the berries sit on the top of it. So I'm very much interested in seeing what that looks like. Let me move the picture a little closer so you can see what they would look like. So my thought process is that since this will grow much bigger, I'll put it on this side because I can eventually weave it over to the side over here as well. So let's play. I'm gonna maybe, you know what I should do? No, I should put the support first and then I should plant. So let's do that. So for that, what I'm using is just some simple screws. Simple screws like these. And I'm going to use some paddle wire and then go from there. Now I'm thinking that my design that I want to do is maybe a zigzag, so that way it could support itself up. You could use eye hooks as well too, but I'm just going to use some simple screws. Now I'm not so great at power tools, but now beside here, those are orangiums. I'll bring it a little bit closer so you can see what I do, and guys, don't judge my handiwork on that. So as you can see, I've got I did a little zigzag pattern of the screws. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and attach the paddle wire. So I'm using your regular standard paddle wire on here. So I'm just going to, easiest way would be to cut the length of what you need and then just attach from one to the other. I think that would be the easier way. Now I am estimating that the stems for the honeysuckle will be fairly heavy moving forward. So I'm gonna double up the paddle wire just to give it some extra strength. I'm just using my regular snippers to cut it. So all I'm doing, hopefully you can see this, is I'm just doubling up my paddle wire and I'm just gonna curl it a little bit like this so it kind of twists together. Hope that actually makes sense. This is why it's called DIY, right? I'm sure there's some professional out there that's like, hey Lisa, you're doing this totally wrong. And I will not be able to argue with them because they're probably right. But this is how I do it. Alright, so this is what you want, like a thick consistency. And I'm just wrapping it around. And now I'm going to attach it to my string over here. And I'm leaving a little bit of a give because I know the vines are going to get a little bit tough. And I'll need a little bit of a give to wrap it around. Alright, so I'm going to repeat the same process that I did, which is basically cut the length of the wire that I need. Now this one here is a little bit longer, so I need to adjust for that. Don't judge my technical way of doing things, alright? I'm not the most handy person when it comes to stuff like that. I'm pretty sure if my husband is watching this, he'll cringe at how I'm doing this because he's like super precise with things like that. I'm not really. So, but I'll get done. So I'm just like twisting the wires. Alright. Starting to take shape, guys. Can you see it? Here. And here. I got 3 more I need to do. Alright. I think I got them in. Let me bring you guys a little bit closer and I'll show you. And again, guys, don't judge my work. Alright. It's not super techy or super precise and all of that stuff. Alright, so here you go. You can see that I've got my trellis up there, and you can see it a little bit better. So now I'll be able to weave and plant my branches. Weave my branches through the paddle wire. So let me do this side of it, and then we'll get planting. See, I'm getting better now. I think I have a little bit more leverage here. It was a little bit awkward on that side. Wrap it around there. For some reason I thought I did that whole thing without hitting record, but I actually did. So my first plant that I have is this poor chocolate vine. Has been sitting in this container for I think I got this like in April, so it's been sitting there that long, and I've been trying to figure out where I want to put it, and then one night popped in like, hey, why not make a trellis out of this? So I'm going to pop a picture of what a chocolate vine looks like when it's flowering, just so you can see a picture of it. And I'm going to go ahead and plant it over here. Now I do have some eryngium over here, so it's really not going to be in the way. And this area has what do you call it, drip tubing under the mulch. And I don't know if you guys noticed, I cleaned up most of my weeds in this area. So what I was trying to say is I am going to plant this a little bit higher, and by that what I mean is I am not going to bury the crown like deep in the ground. I'm gonna leave a little bit exposed, and the reason for that is this area does get really wet, and I don't want the root to rot or water to go on top of the stem and kind of bury it. And then if water accumulates, what's going to happen is it's going to rot, and I don't want that to happen. All right, back to planting this. So what I was saying is I'm not going to bury it too deep because I don't want the top of it to sit in water if water collects. So I'm burying it a little bit higher than what I normally do. Now, I'm not sure if chocolate vine is evergreen in our zone, so I'm going to have to research that and pop it on screen. Now, the nice thing is, because these vines have been sitting, this plant has been sitting in the container, it has these long vines, so I'm actually going to be able to wrap them around my string today for some immediate instant gratification, if you will. Did I hit record? I did. And is my mic working? Yes, it is. And what I'm thinking about is I have this one right here. I may just weave it through there gently. Hey, can you see it? So I've got a little bit of things right here. I'll bring you guys in a little bit closer. Dug my hole for my honeysuckle, so let me plant that. And again, I'm going to plant this a little bit higher because I don't want water reaching up against the root and killing the plant that way. Now this one here doesn't have anything for me to attach to the wire, so I'm just going to use the bamboo stakes that it has right now and let it grow on. But as it gets older and more vines come up, I'll be able to wrap it around. Alright, so as you can see, here is my chocolate vine. And here is my honeysuckle. The Kintzley honeysuckle. Now again, nothing's going to be spectacular this year, so I'm going to let them all grow on for now. So the next thing I want to show you guys is a solution for what happens when you have an area that doesn't get much water, but you want some plants. So my solution for that is using succulent type plants. So my immediate thing is, instead of going and buying plants, I do have a lot of sedums in the yard, and they do propagate fairly easily. So I'm going to go around and show you guys how to do that. So this is the Rebecca that I have. So I'm going to take that out, plant it up in a pot, and then use this container. Alright, so now let's propagate and fill these containers with sedums. Now I have, this is the side of my stone step garden bed. Again, I need to find a better name for that, for this garden bed. Put any suggestions in the comment. So I have all these sedum that's here, and over time I've basically broken them apart, and then my idea is to just do a line of them down the stairs. But I have a lot of this extra, so I'm going to dig them up and then put it in the container here. And to do that, leave my hoary knife, so I'll be right back. Alright, back here. So let me just till this dirt up first. This one here I just refilled, so I don't need to fill it up. And all I'm doing is I'm just going to go find a section of my sedum and basically dig it up. This is how easy it is. So I just dug it up, and now I'm going to place it in my container. There you go, and I'm going to backfill with some dirt. And that's pretty much all of it, guys. So pretty easy. This sedum I like because it can trail over, so it would look really nice. Let's do container number 2. Now I'm thinking I have a different type of sedum here. Maybe I'll do a little bit of this one here. I'm going to try to find the name of this online and pop it on the screen. Now this particular sedum here, I didn't dig it up. I just literally just pulled it. And if you notice, see how it has little roots on there? Just put it in the container and it would root itself. So I'm just gonna put it around in the container here. And I'm just spreading it around so that it looks kind of even throughout the entire container, if that makes sense. And then before I know it, it will fill itself out and would also trail over the edge. Now I'm actually going to put maybe a couple pieces of the other one in it too. See how that would look. This one here, you can break it off and just root it directly in the soil and it will grow. Alright, so this is container number 2 done. I had this other container, so I just went ahead and filled the same sedums in it. Alright guys, so I'm here at my other container that has some sedum. So this is what I have here. In it, I have some Canterbury bells overwintering, and my sedum has been taking a little bit over. So I figure what I'll do is this is a perfect situation where I can just come in and dig me out some pieces of sedum. And all I'm doing is I'm just literally pulling the roots out. Look at this. This is so easy to propagate, guys. Again, this is free plants. And these roots are not deep at all. So I have 3 containers, so I'm doing 3 pieces. And this will now give some of these Canterbury bells some place to grow as well. Am I recording? Yes, I am. I guess this video is. Am I recording and is my audio on? Alright, so I think we're good. Now it does create a little bit of a gap, but that's what I want because I want these to have more place to grow. I like the sedum because it gives a really nice trailing effect on there, and I've divided up the sedum so many times. So what I'm going to do is this particular one, I'm going to bury it a little bit deeper in the container. So here's my container. I'm going to bury it a little bit deeper because I want the immediate trailing effect on it. And for that, I have to create some mess. So this is what I have. I have some roots also here. Let me pull that out. There we go. So here's my sedum number 1. Got 2 more to go. Let me bring you in a little bit closer so you can see it. Better angle. Now this one here, I do need to fill it up with some soil. So I'm going to till it up first. Look at this, weeds everywhere, you guys. Take my sedum. I'm going to curve it around in this container a little bit here. And I'm just going to backfill with some dirt, which I'm just literally grabbing from the bed next to where I'm sitting. There you go. Container number 2. Alright, container number 3. So let's go ahead and place these on the rack, and we'll take a final look at the project. We'll clean my mess up here. Now the nice thing is this sedum, this little piece here, I can stick it in the ground here and it'll just root and spread. So I'm not going to waste it, I'm just going to stick it into the ground. You guys, I am cleaning up this area here, and I just spotted a beautiful bumblebee like on a veronica, and it's such a perfect moment because overcast, breeze is blowing. It's what is this, August 2nd I said, and I cannot believe this weather, and I'm just sitting here enjoying, trying to slow down. This is just a good reminder that you just need to slow down and enjoy life, right? Life is way too short, and sometimes I forget to do that. So I'm just sitting here savoring the moment, still watching the bee, and the veronica is actually right next to a grass that's just like swaying. It's just absolutely beautiful. What do you think, guys? Let me bring you in a little bit closer. I think that looks amazing, right? I mean, in all of this, we had the pots already, we had the sedums already, and yeah, I think it looks amazing. So hopefully you learned something from this project. A little bit of DIY on there, how you can multiply perennials in your yard at no cost. And then how to create a trellis. So eventually we'll have this all grow in. Hope you learned something from this. Would love if you can please like, subscribe, comment as well. Until next time, happy gardening. Alright, here is the finished product. So we've got our 2 plants on either side, and then we did our display of sedum, all from which we already had in the yard. These will grow and fill in very nicely. This one here will start trailing down.